There's been another murder, sir. Body was found at exactly 6 a.m. this morning at the back of 29 Hanbury Street. Proper butchered she was, sir. Disemboweled. Horrible.
Hanbury Street. Hanbury Street? That's where that Emma DeVille woman said we would find her. How did she know that?
Don't know, sir. Puts the creeps up me, she does. By the way, Sergeant Thick has put out a warrant for John Pizer. Figures he's Leather Apron, one of our main suspects.
Sergeant Thick doesn't have a clue. Waste of time, in my opinion, anyway. One witness thinks they saw that guy Chapman, the local barber, nearby at around 5:45 a.m. Another saw the victim talking to a tall stranger in this alleyway, less than an hour before she was murdered. The body was found in this yard at 6 a.m. this morning. The throat was cut from left to right. The abdomen had been disemboweled with the intestines thrown over the shoulders. The killer appears to be getting more frenzied with each attack. Another object with that strange symbol that I found at Buck's Row carved into it. Just a coincidence? Seems from this ticket that the victim was living at the Doss House on Thrall Street. Better check the place out to see if the owner knows anything. I'm investigating the recent murders in Whitechapel. Tell me, did a woman called Annie Chapman ever stay here?
That she did, officer. Her and that other woman that was killed a little while ago.
Thank you. I'll take a quick look round if you don't mind. This letter is addressed to Annie. Annie Chapman, perhaps? It speaks of finding someone to help them with the Nichols gang. Signed, Mary Kay. Do you have any idea who that might be? And do you know if Chapman owed the Nichols gang money?
Yes, officer. That would likely be Mary Kelly. Her and Annie were friends. As for the Nichols gang, most of the working girls around these parts owed them money. Do you think the gang murdered Annie?
Couldn't say for sure, although these certainly don't seem to be gang killings to me. Can you tell me any places where Chapman would go regularly?
Aye, she could regularly be found in the old Ten Bells pub looking for customers, sir. Either that, or drinking herself senseless with the money she'd made that night.
Tell me, did Annie Chapman ever drink here?
Aye, officer. Came here most nights. Touting for business mainly. Her and her female friends. Nichols, Eddowes and Kelly.
Nichols? You mean Mary Ann Nichols? She was friends with Chapman.
Oh, yes, sir. Polly. That's what Nichols was called around here. She and old Annie Chapman were thick as thieves. Old friends they were. Terrible what happened to them. Papers are saying it was Leather Apron, some bloke called Pizer. Is that right, officer?
Can't comment on an ongoing investigation. Do you mind if I look around a while?
Not at all. Go ahead.
I have a letter to Mary Kelly from someone named Walter. Do you know who that might be?
Sure, he is a local artist, Walter Sickert. Often painted some of the girls he did. Used to come in a lot with his gentleman friend.
Gentleman friend?
Yeah, proper posh gent he was. We used to call him Bertie. Never knew his full name. Had a fancy for a young friend of Kelly's, Annie Crook I believe her name was. Went on to wed her in the church over the road, so I hear. Come to think of it, haven't seen him or her round here for weeks.
Someone named Annie Crook was married here. And there's that name again, Walter Sickert, the best man. Sickert's address. It's just along the street from the 10 Bells. Guess I'd better check him out. So, this is Sickert's place. Looks like no one's at home. Makes it even easier for me to snoop around his studio a little. Seems there may be more than I thought to this Annie Crook story. QV. QV. I wonder who or what this refers to. It's all sounding very sinister. There is definitely something not right here. Blackmail? Just what was going on here? Just what was Sickert involved in?
Excuse me, who are you and what are you doing breaking into my art studio?
Inspector Abberline of Scotland Yard. I'm investigating the recent Whitechapel murders. Perhaps I could ask you, what your relationship with Annie Chapman and Mary Kelly was.
Oh, mere acquaintances of mine from drinking in the 10 Bells. And sometimes they would pose for paintings for me to earn them a few extra pennies. There's nothing wrong with that, is there?
I think you know more about these women and their murders than you're telling me. For example, how do you explain this detailed entry in your diary? And the letters from Miss Kelly?
Oh, that whole thing was an unfortunate mess. A dear friend of mine was indeed wed to young Annie Crook, but I fear poor Annie was not of sound mind. The marriage fell apart, and I believe she was taken to a mental home. I fear it was all too much for poor Mary, and she's been inventing crazy stories about the whole affair ever since.
There is definitely something fishy with our Mr. Sickett. I don't know how, or if he's linked with these murders, but something very odd is going on between him and that Mary Kelly. Guess I'd better put together the case notes for Annie Chapman.